White House officials say that Iran clearly intended to cause destruction and casualties when it attacked Israel over the weekend. The U.S. shot down more than 70 Iranian drones involved in the attack. Weijia Jiang joins us now from the White House. Weijia, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So President Biden spoke at length today about the attack during his meeting that he had today with Iraq's prime minister. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Iran launched an unprecedented aerial attack against Israel, and we mounted an unprecedented military effort to defend Israel. Together with our partners, we defeated that attack.
So, Weijia, from what you've gathered reporting at the White House today, how extensive was the U.S.'s involvement here in defending Israel against these attacks?
Caitlin, the U.S. was incredibly involved in the deterrence effort here, shooting down not only the 70 drones that you mentioned, but a total of 300 drones and missiles, which is exactly why the administration is saying this was a complete and utter failure on Iran's part. And to your point earlier, they said that because there were so many attempts here with drones and various kinds of missiles being sent over to Israel, that's why they say it is so undeniable that Iran meant to do damage. And the White House categorically denied any claims or theories that Iran didn't actually meant to do any damage here or harm, that they were just trying to perhaps send a domestic message that they would not allow the attack on its consulate in Damascus, Syria, go unanswered. And so this was a huge effort from the U.S. and Israel and other allies in preparation for ultimately what was not a very impactful assault by Iran.
And what has the White House been telling you about what the U.S.'s response to the attack signals to Iran?
Well, I asked John Kirby today in the White House briefing about, that very question, and he focused a lot about what we just talked about, which is what the U.S. did as the attack was happening. Take a listen.
President Biden issued a warning to Iran, don't, and now the U.S. is not taking any part in an Israeli reprisal. So does that signal to Iran that it can defy the U.S. without facing any consequences?
I don't know, man. If I'm sitting in Tehran and I'm taking a look at what just happened on Saturday night, I don't think I'd be betting that the United States is not willing to get engaged here and help defend Israel. I mean, you had American fighter pilots in the air, in combat operations, shooting down drones and missiles that were heading towards Israel.
And so I asked that because the U.S., CBS has made clear to Israel that if there is a reprisal or retaliation for this Iranian strike, the U.S. will not be involved. And so you heard what Kirby had to say about why not. And I did follow up and say, yes, I hear everything that you're saying about deterrence as the attack was happening. But what I'm asking about is consequences after the fact, especially since President Biden warned Iran, don't do this. And Kirby went on to say that the U.S. is working with international allies and partners to determine what is the appropriate consequence for Iran. Caitlin?
And Weijia, on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, you have House Speaker Mike Johnson saying he's going to be pushing for aid to Israel this week. What does the White House want Congress to do on this issue?
Well, the White House wants lawmakers to pass the entire national security supplemental bill, which includes funding not only for Israel, but for Ukraine, for border security, for those countries in the Indo-Pacific like Taiwan. And today, the White House, during that briefing, the press secretary said the White House does not support a standalone piece of legislation that would only give money to Israel. So that was pretty significant, Caitlin, because it looks like that big package that they are hoping to push through somehow isn't going anywhere. And so some would argue that it's better to give Israel aid instead of waiting for all those pieces to come together. But again, the White House says the president would not support that.
It'll be interesting to see how they piece together a coalition on this. Weijia Jiang, thank you very much for your reporting. We appreciate it. It's good to see you.
You too.